Hello, and welcome to another MasterTech program. During our 50th anniversary, we've been looking at the many changes that have taken place over the last half-century. A great deal of the progress made in automobiles and automotive service over the past 50 years is a direct result of advancements in technology. During MasterTech's first year, technicians learned service procedures on components such as distributors and carburetors, due in large part to electronic components such as transistors, diodes, thermistors, and the advent of microprocessors. Those distributors and carburetors have all but disappeared, giving way to electronically controlled distributorless ignition systems and computerized highly efficient fuel injection systems. Technologies such as onboard electronic control modules have ushered in a new world of automotive systems, including electronic transaxles, where computers decide when to shift gears, anti-lock brakes, where an electronic controller pumps the brakes many times faster than a driver could, and speed variable power steering, where a computer monitors vehicle and steering wheel speed to vary the amount of power assist. Multiplexed communication networks, like the CCD data bus, enable these electronic modules to send and receive vital vehicle data and other messages. These leaps in technology have not only increased vehicle performance and reliability, but have also found their way into making occupants more comfortable while on the road. From systems such as automatic temperature control, where a computer keeps the vehicle's cabin at a constant desired temperature, to interactive speed control, where powertrain and transmission control modules work together to maintain a set speed even while ascending and descending steep grades, to audio systems, where electronics have obviously played a major role for quite some time now. Technology is the driving force behind innovations in today's vehicles. Advanced systems such as airbags help protect occupants, while computerized emission control systems help protect the environment. And to help protect vehicles, theft deterrent features like the Sentry Key Immobilizer system are made possible through advanced electronic technology. The engineers at Chrysler Corporation didn't forget about you, the service technician, either. With all this technology showing up on cars and trucks, they knew you could use some help sort it all out. Could you imagine trying to track down an intermittent open in a main wiring harness without the help of computerized service tools, such as the Mopar diagnostic system? Or the DRB3 scan tool with the multifunction PEP module? Maybe you could, but it would surely take a lot longer without these products of advanced technology. Not only have new service tools helped Chrysler technicians see what onboard computers see and record information when an intermittent problem rears its ugly head away from the repair bay, but they also provide an electronic library of service bulletins, repair procedures, and even software updates for electronic controllers that can be reprogrammed without removing them from the vehicle. Even traditional hard iron repairs, such as wheel alignments, are made easier with computer-age tools. You might be wondering what kinds of new technology you'll be seeing in the future. The answer is, well, the sky's the limit. Electric vehicles are quickly becoming a solution to zero-emission requirements. Chrysler's electric-powered interurban commuter, or EPIC minivan, recently made its debut. The fuel cell, a NASA space shuttle technology which separates the hydrogen and oxygen molecules from water to produce energy, shows promise for powering vehicles in the future. Steer-by-wire technology, a totally computerized system used in the world's most advanced aircraft, could conceivably be applied to automotive products as well. And smart highways, where vehicles stay on course without driver intervention by using lasers and magnets embedded in the roadway, are in their infancy but making steady progress. Yes, technology has certainly shaped today's cars and trucks, as it has helped shape all of our lives. In fact, if it weren't for advanced technology, I'd probably still look like this. That's all the time we have for this month's Time Trek. Stick around for the MasterTech monthly program highlighting 1998 Dodge trucks. Hey, buddy, can you hear me? Say something. Anything. How many fingers am I holding up?
Consistent with Chrysler's commitment to continuous improvement, the Dodge truck lineup enters 1998 with significant changes. Ram van and wagon receive a host of modifications and improvements that increase their overall quality and durability. Ram truck receives several modifications as well, and also features a new four-door model, the Ram Quad Cab. Quad Cab's interior dimensions remain the same as the Club Cab, but the two additional doors make entry into the rear seat easier. The most obvious Dodge truck development, however, is the addition of a brand new vehicle, the Durango. Durango is based on the Dakota platform and provides Dodge truck with a sport utility vehicle that should prove popular with customers. With its many outstanding features, Durango definitely upholds the Dodge truck reputation for performance and value. Hello and welcome to MasterTech. In this month's program, we'll look at the technical highlights of the Durango, Ram truck, and Ram van and wagon for the 1998 model year. With each vehicle, we'll begin with a look under the hood, move under the vehicle, and then finish by covering body exterior and interior features. Now, even though we'll cover the major developments in this video, be sure to check out this month's reference book for an even more comprehensive look at the Dodge truck lineup. Okay, let's get things started with a look at the new Durango. With Durango's hood raised, you can see the thought that went into the underhood area. The coolant recovery bottle, for example, is black to blend with the other components. To check coolant level, use the dipstick located under the bottle cap. Like the coolant recovery bottle cap, all other underhood fluid level checkpoints are indicated by yellow labeling. While we're on the subject of fluid level checks, a new type of fluid is required in Durango's automatic transmission, 7176 ATF plus 3. This new fluid has a higher viscosity index than the previous fluid and will be used in all Chrysler automatic transmissions for 1998. Available engines for Durango include the 3.9, 5.2, and 5.9 liter Magnum engines. While the 5.2 remains largely the same as last year, changes have been made to the 3.9 and 5.9 liter engines. The 3.9 features a new timing chain tensioner for improved noise reduction. The 5.9 has a revised camshaft, which results in more horsepower and torque. The 5.9 also requires a new spark plug, RC12 LC4. The spark plugs are long reach and should be gapped to 40 thousandths. The changes just mentioned to the 3.9 and 5.9 liter engines are consistent across the Dodge truck lineup. Also consistent across the Dodge truck lineup is a revised procedure for adjusting the transmission throttle valve cable on engines mated to an automatic transmission. You'll have to remove the retaining clip before you can center the cable end on the attachment stud. Refer to the appropriate service manual for the complete procedure. Next to the air cleaner on Durango's right inner fender is the powertrain control module, which is also referred to as the Jeep Truck Engine Controller, or JTEC. Like the JTEC in the 1997 Dakota, Durango's JTEC has more functions than units used in the past. It now illuminates the check engine lamp to indicate emission-related transmission conditions, functions as the 12-volt feed for the generator, and controls the leak detection pump on California emission packages. Unlike PCMs of the past, flash codes can no longer be retrieved by cycling the ignition key. You'll have to use the scan tool to retrieve codes. The JTEC also has a new source for the vehicle speed signal. It no longer originates at the output shaft of the transmission. Instead, the rear wheel speed sensor on the axle sends its speed signal to the controller anti-lock brake, or cab. The cab then provides a vehicle speed signal to the JTEC. This is true for both rear wheel and four-wheel anti-lock brake systems. When replacing the JTEC, it is extremely important to program in the vehicle's VIN, because the cab and other modules rely on the vehicle identification number for correct operation. Like the other trucks in the Dodge lineup, Durango comes with standard rear-wheel anti-lock brakes. The rear-wheel ABS, called R-Wall 2, represents the latest generation of R-Wall technology from Kelsey Hayes. Easily accessible, the R-Wall control module mounts under hood to a bracket near the hydraulic control unit. Unlike previous systems where diagnostics required momentarily grounding a wire, diagnostics can now be performed using the DRB3 scan tool. A four-wheel anti-lock brake system, EBC 325, is optional on Durango. EBC 325 features a new cab, which is integrated with a hydraulic control unit, or HCU. Integrating the two units simplifies wiring and enhances system reliability. The cab and HCU can be serviced separately. Whenever you replace the cab in Durango, whether it's a rear wheel or four-wheel anti-lock system, be sure to program the axle type and tire size into the new module. Moving on, the power distribution center is located behind the battery at the driver's side inner fender. Although the PDCs in Durango and Dakota are similar, fuse locations are different for each. Also different from Dakota is Durango's air conditioning system. Instead of an accumulator and an orifice tube, Durango uses an H-valve and a receiver dryer. An electronic clutch cycling switch is mounted to the H-valve. And for noise reduction, a muffler is integrated into the suction line. Also, because of the optional rear AC unit, Durango uses a larger condenser than Dakota. We've covered all of the major developments under the hood. Now let's take a look under the vehicle. Depending on the engine, one of three 4-speed automatic transmissions is available on Durango: the 42RE, 44RE, or 46RE. The oil capacity in each transmission has increased, and the oil pan and filter have been modified. Additionally, the valve body and low reverse band lever in the 46RE have also been changed. The changes to these transmissions are consistent across the Dodge truck lineup. For the first time on a Dodge vehicle, Durango offers an optional full-time four-wheel drive transfer case, model NV242HD. The standard transfer case, which is also used in some Dakota and Ram truck applications, is the part-time four-wheel drive NV231HD model. For enhanced emission control, Durango is equipped with a multi-layer polyethylene fuel tank. The fuel pump module mounts in the fuel tank and is held in place by a metal retaining fixture. The fuel lines exiting the module are constructed of stainless steel, as are all fuel lines on the vehicle. The fuel system's vapor canister is square and is located directly in front of the fuel tank. Durango has a unique exhaust system to ensure a quiet ride for rear seat passengers. The muffler is large and provides reduced back pressure to enhance engine performance. Located ahead of the muffler is a cylindrical metal substrate catalytic converter. The cylindrical design helps distribute exhaust uniformly across the substrate's face. The front axle on Durango is made by Dana and has the designation 194 FIA. Special tools for this axle were shipped with the 1997 Dakota Essential Tools package. Because the axle housing is aluminum, be sure to follow the precautions in the service manual to avoid damage. Two rear corporate axles are available. An 8 1/4 inch axle is used with the V6 engine, and a larger 9 1/4 inch axle is used with the V8 engines. A new lubricant is required in corporate axles. It has better lubricating qualities and also reduces axle temperatures. Durango's front suspension and steering components are largely the same as those on the 1997 Dakota. Exceptions include a stiffer front stabilizer bar and a revised steering gear. Also different from Dakota is Durango's curb load position, or step-in height. It's a full inch lower to provide easier passenger entry and exit. Durango's rear suspension features a standard stabilizer bar and non-staggered rear shocks. The rear springs are S-shaped and have serviceable rear eyelets. Relative to Dakota, the brake components on Durango have been modified to accommodate its heavier build and larger towing capacity. The single-piston front brake calipers are larger and come with longer pads. Durango also has larger drums in the rear and larger shoes. Before we look at Durango's body, let's test what we've learned so far with a review question. Where is the standard R-wall control module on Durango located? A. Attached to the steering column support in the cab. B. Mounted to a bracket near the hydraulic control unit under the hood. Or C. mounted to the right frame rail? The correct answer is B. The R-wall control module mounts under hood to a bracket near the hydraulic control unit. From the front, Durango looks a lot like Dakota. In fact, the body panels are the same for the two vehicles from the A-post forward. All other panels, however, are unique to each vehicle. The cowl cover between the hood and the windshield attaches to the body with screws and push-in fasteners. You'll need to remove this cover to gain access to several components, including the blower motor resistor block and the modular front wiper assembly. Durango features a one-piece body side aperture panel that extends from the windshield pillar to the liftgate pillar. This is the largest one-piece stamped side panel ever used on a Chrysler vehicle. Its one-piece design aids in door alignment and door sealing. The doors are assembled from full stamped inner and outer panels which are adhesive bonded and hemmed together. To prevent wind noise and water leaks, all doors receive multiple seals. A body-mounted tubular weather strip encircles each door opening to provide primary sealing. For additional sealing, a secondary weather strip is located on the windshield pillar and runs across the top of the front and rear door openings. There are two more weather strips on the door. One is located on the back of the upper door frame and the other on the bottom of the door. The liftgate on Durango is similar to the liftgate on Chrysler minivans. It features temperature compensating gas props. And to help stabilize the liftgate in the opening, molded blocks on the side of the liftgate mate with molded rubber blocks on the pillars. The blocks on the pillars are called anti-chuckle wedges. The fill location for the rear windshield washer unit is located on the right side of the liftgate drain channel, outboard of the weather strip. The 0.8 of a gallon washer bottle is filled through a covered funnel that is only accessible when the liftgate is raised. A latching storage module in the floor just forward of the liftgate holds the jack and tire changing tools and provides concealed storage for additional gear. The spare tire is stowed horizontally under the rear floor pan and can be raised and lowered using the built-in winch. Inside, Durango provides comfortable and versatile seating. 3 levels of interior trim are available: ST, SLT, and SLT Plus. With ST equipment, a 40-20-40 front bench seat is standard. Bucket front seats are standard on SLT and SLT Plus trim levels. The second seat for all trim levels is a modification of the 40-20-40 seat concept pioneered on Dodge Ram. The outboard sections use a fold and tumble mechanism to provide entry and exit for third seat passengers. And each section can be folded flat to act as a load surface. The third seat, which is available on SLT and SLT Plus trim levels, can also be folded down to form a load surface. As you can see, there are a variety of seating and cargo storage configurations. Depending on the trim level and optional equipment, Durango can provide comfortable seating for 5, 6, 7, or even 8 passengers. Also contributing to passenger comfort is Durango's high-powered HVAC system. While air distribution for front passengers is the same as on Dakota, second and third seat occupants receive heated or cooled air through a central duct that runs along the floor pan. Second seat occupants can manually control rearward airflow via a damper door in the duct. The damper door linkage is adjustable only on front bucket seat applications. To gain access to the linkage, remove the 4 console attaching screws and pull out the console. On third seat equipped vehicles, a duct beneath the center section of the second seat provides airflow to the third seat footwells. However, air flows to the third seat only when the second seat thumb wheel directs airflow to the lower outlets. A rear compartment air conditioning system is also available. Located in the headliner between the front and second seats, it includes a roof-mounted evaporator, a wide squirrel cage fan, a lower housing, and drainage system. Because the squirrel cage fan is located just ahead of the rear outlet bezel, never insert a thermometer into the rear outlets. A rotary 4-position switch on the unit controls fan speed. For cooling operation, the air conditioning mode on the front control panel must be selected. However, the rear unit fan can operate independently to circulate air. To help ensure the safety of its occupants, Durango is equipped with driver and front passenger airbags. The driver's airbag uses a conventional solid propellant inflator for deployment, and the front passenger airbag uses a hybrid inflator. Durango's Airbag Control Module, or ACM, uses a single-point impact sensing design for airbag deployment and is mounted on the floor pan below the instrument panel near the center of the cab. In response to concerns about overly aggressive airbags, all vehicles in the Dodge truck lineup are now using next-generation airbags. These airbags have a lower deployment force than airbags used previously. As always, seatbelts must be worn for full protection. To conclude our look at Durango's interior, let's focus our attention on the instrument panel. Like the instrument cluster on Dakota, Durango's cluster receives signals over the CCD bus and also features a check gauges lamp. When lit, the check gauges lamp indicates one or more of the following conditions: battery voltage too low or too high, oil pressure too low, oil pressure or coolant sensor failure, or coolant temperature too high. An LCD odometer trip odometer display is located at the cluster's bottom left corner. Depressing the push button toggles the display between odometer and trip readings, and holding it down resets the trip reading. The instrument cluster has a self-diagnostic feature. To activate it, hold down the push button while turning the ignition key on. Release the button after the word check appears. The self-diagnostic feature provides a check of lamp and gauge functions and allows you to check for cluster trouble codes. At the left end of the instrument panel, you'll find a junction block and the data link connector. The junction block is located behind the snap-in cover. It contains the ignition off-draw fuse, identified as fuse number 12. It also features an attached mini fuse block, which houses the left front door unlock relay and the high blower relay. The data link connector is located under the instrument panel to the left of the steering column. Much of the information the data link connector provides to the DRV3 scan tool now arrives over the CCD bus. The following modules are on the bus: instrument cluster, airbag control module, powertrain control module, compass mini-trip computer, controller anti-lock brake, and the central timer module. Durango uses both base and highline versions of the central timer module, or CTM, but only the highline version is on the data bus. The CTM is located under the instrument panel to the right of the glove box and can be serviced through the glove box opening. Well, that concludes our look at the all-new Dodge Durango. But before we move on to Ram truck, let's try another review question. Which of the following components of Durango's rear compartment air conditioning system is located in the headliner between the front and second seats? A, evaporator, B, squirrel cage fan, or C, all of the above? C is the correct answer. In addition to the evaporator and squirrel cage fan, the roof-mounted system also includes a drainage system. With the hood raised on the Ram truck, you'll notice that all fluid fill points in the engine compartment are indicated by yellow labeling for easy identification. And as mentioned earlier, all Chrysler automatic transmissions now require 7176 ATF plus 3 automatic transmission fluid. On Ram truck, the ambient temperature sensor is now attached to the underside of the hood behind the grille. It is used strictly for the overhead compass console and contains the same thermistor values as in 1997. Like last year, Ram truck offers 4 gasoline engines and 1 diesel engine. The current 5.9-liter Cummins turbo diesel will be available at the start of production, but a new Cummins 24-valve turbo diesel will replace it early next year. Structural changes have been made to the current 5.9-liter turbo diesel to reduce noise, vibration, and harshness. Improvements include a strengthened engine block, new 12mm main bearing cap bolts, and metric straight thread O-ring fittings. These fittings seal better than the previous tapered pipe thread fittings. Also featured is a new screw-in block heater. The AC system on Ram truck has been modified as well. The orifice tube is now integrated in the liquid line between the condenser and the evaporator. In previous years, it was in the condenser outlet. To service the orifice tube, you now have to service the liquid line. The tube cannot be serviced separately. The new orifice tube location also affects the system charge level. Last year it was 28 ounces. For 98, it's 32 ounces. Like Durango, Ram truck features the standard R-Wall 2 rear wheel anti-lock brake system and the optional EBC 325 four-wheel anti-lock brake system. The key characteristics of each system are the same as those on Durango. In addition, Ram truck features a new Bosch master cylinder. Most of the PCM developments for Durango apply to Ram truck as well. As on Durango, vehicle speed signals are generated by the rear wheel speed sensor and sent to the JTEC from the cab. A scan tool is now the sole means of retrieving diagnostic trouble codes. And whenever the PCM is replaced, be sure to program the vehicle's identification number into the new PCM. Well, those are the major underhood developments. Areas that deserve review under the vehicle concern the fuel system, axles, and the steering system. Depending on the model, Ram truck comes equipped with a 26, 34, or a 35-gallon fuel tank. 2 vapor canisters are featured on trucks equipped with a 35-gallon tank, one round and one square. As mentioned earlier, corporate axles now require a new lubricant. And on heavy-duty 4x4s and two-wheel drive cabin chassis-only trucks, the steering system features heavy-duty tie rod ends, a revised steering linkage and knuckle, and a relocated mounting for the steering dampener. Now let's move on to the body, where the changes to Ram truck are a little more extensive. As mentioned earlier, Ram truck is available in a new 4-door model called Quad Cab. The cab in the 4-door model is all new from the A-pillar rearward. The rocker panels have been reinforced to compensate for the larger door openings. And the door sills and C-pillars have been reinforced to increase rigidity. The front doors are squared off at the bottom rear, where they meet with the new rear doors. The rear doors are fully adjustable and feature 2 handles, one inside and one along the edge of the door. Both doors include lightweight beams of high-strength steel tubing that help protect occupants in side-impact collisions. The outboard front seats in club and quad cab models each have an integrated 3-point seat belt system. A similar system is used in the Chrysler Sebring convertible. This design improves comfort and also enhances rear seat access because there's no seat belt webbing to inhibit entry. Located under the center of the front bench seat, a seatbelt control timer module, or SCTM, is used to control the solenoids that unlock the integrated seat belts. The instrument panel on all Ram truck models is new, and depending on the engine, either a gas or diesel instrument cluster is available. Both clusters are so-called smart clusters, and like Durango, each includes a check gauges lamp, LCD odometer trip odometer, and self-diagnostics. For 1998, Ram truck features a central timer module, or CTM. The CTM is located under the instrument panel to the right of the steering column support and performs some of the same functions as the CTMs on Durango and Dakota. The base CTM, sometimes referred to as the Integrated Electronic Module, or IEM, is not on the CCD data bus. A Highline CTM, which does operate on the bus, is also available. With regard to Ram truck's HVAC system, the new model year features a temperature control cable with a self-adjuster clip. The clip secures the cable to the blend air door lever. Anytime the heater AC control head or the temperature control cable is removed or replaced, this cable must be adjusted. The adjustment procedure is provided in the service manual. The steering wheel and steering column received several revisions for 1998. The automatic speed control switches are new, and so are the multifunction overdrive and horn switches. The horn switch is located in the center of the steering wheel. A similar design is found on Chrysler minivans and the Jeep Grand Cherokee. To the left of the steering column and under the instrument panel, you'll find the data link connector. As on Durango, much of the information the data link connector provides to the DRB3 scan tool now arrives over the CCD bus. Passive restraints include driver and front passenger airbags. The passenger airbag module includes the two panel vents located on the passenger side of the instrument panel. If the airbag is deployed and the instrument panel is not damaged, you can service the passenger airbag module without having to replace the instrument panel. A key-operated passenger airbag on-off switch is located in the fog lamp switch bezel. The switch includes a 3-ohm resistor to prevent the airbag lamp from turning on when the passenger airbag is disabled. The airbag control module, or ACM, uses a single-point impact sensing design for airbag deployment. The same ACM part number is used for both regular cab and extended cab models. Because the ACM relies on the VIN for correct operation, be sure to program the VIN into the PCM whenever the PCM is replaced. And that finishes our look at the 1998 Ram truck. Before we move on to our last vehicle, Ram van and wagon, let's try another review question. 2 vapor canisters are featured on Ram trucks when equipped with which of the following fuel tanks? A, 26-gallon, B, 34-gallon, or C, 35-gallon? The correct answer is C. 2 vapor canisters are featured when equipped with a 35-gallon tank, one round and one square. The Ram van and wagon have been significantly revised for the new model year. For starters, all V8 engines have been moved 4.5 inches forward. As a result, every engine now has a common rear block face location and common mounting points. To accommodate this change, the front frame rails have been extended 7.5 inches. The air conditioning system has also been modified. All new aluminum plumbing and a revised compressor are featured, as well as a new temperature door servo motor. No quick connects are used in this system. Moving on, the PCM in Ram van and wagon shares many of the same characteristics as the PCMs in Durango and Ram truck. As on those vehicles, vehicle speed signals are generated by the rear wheel speed sensor and sent to the JTEC from the cab. A scan tool is now the sole means of retrieving diagnostic trouble codes. And whenever the PCM is replaced, be sure to program the vehicle's identification number into the new PCM. Like Durango and Ram truck, Ram van and wagon features a standard R-Wall2 rear wheel anti-lock brake system and the optional EBC 325 four-wheel anti-lock brake system. For 1998, a new booster and master cylinder requires minimal pedal travel to actuate the brakes. The brakes themselves have also been revised. The front disc brakes use new twin-piston pin-sliding calipers, and in the rear, new full-cast drums replace last year's composite drums. Modifications to the suspension and steering components for 1998 include redesigned upper control arms and a revised steering gear. But the biggest change from a service standpoint is that the alignment procedure requires a new special tool. To accommodate the various design and engineering modifications on Ram van and wagon, many components find themselves in new locations. The most notable examples under the vehicle are the spare tire and fuel tank. The spare tire is now located horizontally under the rear floor pan, and a winch and cable mechanism holds it firmly in place. And the fuel tank is now located midship on the driver's side just ahead of the rear axle. As a result of this midship location, the fuel filler door and exhaust system find themselves in new locations as well. 2 fuel tanks are available for 1998, the 32-gallon tank for short wheelbase models and a 35-gallon tank for long wheelbase models. With either tank, 2 vapor canisters are utilized, one square and one round. Now let's move on to the body. Although the Ram van and wagon looks a lot like it did last year, the sheet metal portion of the vehicle has over 500 new or modified parts. The front bumper is larger and extends about 3.5 inches further than last year. The short, teardrop-shaped front fenders are also new. Instead of welds, they're bolted to the cowl sides for more flexibility during the assembly process, as well as for easier service. Another sheet metal change concerns the drip rail. You'll notice that it no longer descends along the A-pillar. As a result, wind noise is reduced. The front doors are new and feature a new modular hardware unit, which includes the cable and drum regulator assembly, inside door handle, and door latch. New primary and secondary seals on the front doors replace the single door-mounted seals used previously. The primary seal is mounted to the perimeter of the door. The secondary seal is body-mounted and attaches to a weld flange that surrounds the door opening. Inside, Ram van and wagon features driver and front passenger airbags to help protect occupants in the event of a collision. A passenger airbag on-off switch will be featured on cargo vans. As always, seat belts must be worn for full airbag protection. The front seat belts on Ram van and wagon are constant force retractor belts. They should be inspected and replaced as necessary after a frontal impact. The instrument panel is all new for 1998. The cluster bezel covers the HVAC unit and the radio, and also houses 2 of the 5 panel outlets. A new microprocessor-operated instrument cluster provides accurate control of gauges, obtaining most of its data from the PCM over the CCD bus. This is the same cluster used in all Dodge trucks. Under the instrument panel, you'll find a central timer module on Ram vans and wagons equipped with a vehicle theft security system. The CTM controls various functions, including theft alarm, remote keyless entry, and rolling locks. On Ram van and wagon models without theft alarm, the chime, intermittent wipe, power locks, and remote keyless entry functions are controlled by standalone modules. Arranged horizontally to the right of the cluster are rotary HVAC control knobs. A servo motor operates the blend air function, while recirc and mode settings are operated by engine vacuum. A new rear heater and air conditioning unit is available on long wheelbase models. A recirculation system only, the unit is housed under the second seat behind the driver's seat and consists of a heater core, evaporator, and H-valve. The high blower relay and the ignition run relay are located within the housing. And the blower control knob for the rear unit is located just below the auxiliary power outlet. A unique feature of this system is the tube-in-tube design of the heater core supply line. By inserting the supply line inside the return line, the supply line receives added insulation for greater efficiency. To ensure correct flow, the yellow dot on the rear heater core hose must match the yellow dot on the fitting located under hood below the master cylinder. Well, that about does it for Ram, van, and wagon. But before we wrap up, let's have one more review question. On Ram, van, or wagon equipped with a vehicle theft security system, the vehicle theft alarm is controlled by the A, BCM, B, central timer module, C, VTSS module, or D, none of the above. The correct answer is B. On Ram, van, or wagon equipped with a vehicle theft security system, the central timer module controls the theft alarm as well as several other functions. Well, this concludes our look at the highlights for the 1998 Dodge truck lineup. You should now have a pretty good idea of what to expect in the upcoming model year. Also, make sure you review this month's reference book, because the information contained within actually goes above and beyond what we've covered in this video. And now stay tuned for current training information. You're all aware of the importance of being certified by ASE, which assures your customers that service work on their vehicles is performed by competent and experienced technicians. Like MasterTech, ASE is celebrating an anniversary this year. They've been administering and testing certification of automotive service technicians for the past 25 years. To get some insight on ASE's role in the automotive service industry, MasterTech talked with Richard White, the Vice President of Communications. We first asked him how the automotive service industry has changed over the years.
I think the major changes that have taken place within ASE and the industry itself are, one is technology, and the other is in consumer attitudes and expectations. And now, here 25 years ago, the most sophisticated electronic device on the average automobile was the radio, or perhaps the 8-track. And today, more than 80% of the functions in a typical automobile are computer-controlled. Technology has been a major change in the past 25 years, and it's been a tremendous challenge for the technician. And as I said, the consumer and the car owner have changed too. They're more educated, they're more savvy, they're more inquisitive, and they're much more demanding.
Mr. White went on to explain the significance of ASE to the auto service industry and the country as a whole.
ASE is significant to the automotive industry because it's an industry standard. ASE is a standard by which the industry can measure their technicians. We started back in 1972 with 4 tests. Now we offer 34 tests, not only in auto and light truck, but in medium truck, engine machinists, collision repair, school buses, parts specialists, and alternative fuels. And it's also important for the country. ASE, we help keep America rolling.
As you just heard Mr. White say, ASE certification is very important to your profession. But that ASE patch on your arm is just as important to you, the professional service technician.
Well, we would hope that ASE to the average technician is a source of pride. We hope that it is a sign of professionalism, and we really do believe it is. ASE certification is a way that a technician can prove his or her competency to the employer, to the fellow technicians they work with, and most importantly to themselves.
Now it's time to remind you that the registration deadline for fall ASE testing is rapidly approaching. The registration deadline for all tests is October 3rd, and the testing dates are November 13th, 18th, and 20th at one of the 750 test centers across the country. ASE reminds you to register early, as test centers are assigned on a first-come, first-served basis. Be sure to take this opportunity to demonstrate your technical expertise by becoming ASE certified in one or more of the many skill categories. Over 424,000 service technicians are currently certified by ASE. Make sure you're one of them.